Welcome to Moments in Time with Lucien Byfield. Today we shall look back on the history of the Mexican Grand Prix. Mexico has a jaded and troubled history in running a Formula One race since its beginnings as a championship event in 1963 at the Magdalena Mixhuca circuit, which hosted the race for 9 years. That period was followed by a massive absence from the calendar until, as a renamed Hermanos Rodriguez circuit, Mexico once again hosted Formula One in 1986. As for the name, there was the death of Mexican star Ricardo Rodriguez in 1962 in a non-championship event, and then later his brother Pedro would die in 1971 in a German race, which gave us the title of the current version of the track raced on today. The track has seen changes over the years, notably with the removal of the notorious Peraltada corner that gave us some amazing footage to savour. Think of Nigel Mansell taking Berger around the outside in 1990, or Senna crashing and ending up upside down in 91. As for 1986, what a historic comeback it was, with Gerhard Berger interrupting the massive title fight between Prost, Piquet and Mansell by winning his and the Benetton's first ever race victory, using Pirelli tyres, not stopping for fresh ones while most of the field were on Goodyears and had to make stops. That BMW power plant in the back of the Benetton was a beast and a half, and the colour scheme of that car was and is still one of my favourites. In 1986, just 2 weeks later in Adelaide, it was the first car that truly caught my eye. That Mexican race was supposed to be a simple title win for Nigel Mansell, the hot favourite, but with an unsettled stomach, he was to fluff the start and finish a place outside of the one he needed to wrap up the title. Oh, Adelaide 86. We will never forget that tyre. Some of the historical and controversial moments include the 1970 race that saw officials face a massive crowd control problem, with spectators rioting, sitting alongside the track and demanding a race, eventually getting one as Jackie Ickx won for Ferrari, while Jackie Stewart hit a stray dog on the circuit. 1970 was not the only time that the Mexican Grand Prix had crowd control issues, and this would play a part in the cancellation of the event. One historical moment of significance was in 1965, when Richie Ginther won for Honda, the company's first ever win in Formula One. It would be slim pickings from Honda until the mid-80s. Smog, pollution and thin air, which affects turbo performance, has played a large part in the relative competitiveness of usually dominant teams, and in 1992, the air pollution hit an all-time high, which, along with politics, played a part in the race leaving the calendar again until 2015. Until the recent races, the track was incredibly bumpy and in many ways unsafe, with many crashes like Senna's or Warwick and Palmer's, to name but three. There was a title decider in 1964 with John Surtees winning for Ferrari, and also Graham Hill won his second title for Lotus in 1968. But the story of those races is what fascinates, not the result as much, as crashes, team orders, and unlikely Hollywood scenarios played their part. 1987 was a cracker two-part aggregate race, which saw Mansell redeem himself from his 86 Gastro to win, keeping him within a slender chance of the title. But the 1990 race was one of the best we have seen. It was won by Prost driving for Ferrari after qualifying 13th, yet setting up the car so well and coming through while Berger and Mansell tangled late in the race. In 1991, Riccardo Patrese was to get the Williams Renault package its first win of the season instead of Nigel Mansell in his second stint with the team. Patrese shone often in 91, and this win really woke Mansell up, springing him into a title fight with Senna. In 1988, Senna was trounced by Prost, but in 89 he got his revenge lapping the Professor to win the race, ironically springboarding Prost to a dominant mid-season comeback to a third title. And in 1992, Michael Schumacher got his first Formula One podium. Again, after a large absence from the calendar, we have seen 4 races in recent times, won by Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Argy-bargy, podium disqualifications and on-track wheel banging have been just some of the action we have seen so far, and Lewis was a very lucky man to win in 2016, cutting the first corner so blatantly. Daniel Ricciardo was to get his last pole position in 2018, only to see his teammate win. But in closing, yes, Nigel Mansell again, this time hosting the podium celebrations. He famously said in 2015, "Viva America!" to the crowd. Hilarious. Well, that's it for Moments in Time with Lucy and Byfield. Catch you next time.